What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Survival. We have 15. No, I'm joking. Yeah, we have 15 games to do. So basically, sit back, relax. I'm previewing the rest of the NFL games. It's 15. It's going to be a long video. Sit back, relax, get a drink, get a snack. Just basically enjoy the video. 15 games. Yes, previewing every one. Like and subscribe. Might be a movie. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. We got 15 games to do from Monday Night Football all the way up to the top of the first 1 o'clock games in the early window. So basically, let's get into it. Of course, we're doing starting lineups and then keys to the game. So at 1 o'clock on CBS, and if this is for the East Coast, it's gonna be like New England. The 0-1 New England Patriots are heading to New York to face the Jets, who are also 0-1. This is on CBS, of course, 1 o'clock. Mac Jones is Damian Harris, Nelson Aguilar, Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne, John Smith, who is questionable, Hunter Henry, of course, Devin Asiasi, Isaiah Wynn, Michael Onwenu, David Andrews, Shaq Mason, and Trent Brown, who is questionable, Dietrich Wise Jr., Lawrence Guy, Devon Godshaw, Henry Anderson, Matt Judon, Dante Hightower, Kyle Van Noy, who's out, so Josh Uche will have to slide in there. J.C. Jackson, Kyle Duggar, Jalen Mills, Devin McCourty, Jonathan Jones, Jaquan Williams, and yes, Stephon Gilmore will be out for a second straight week. Now we go to the Jets. Zach Wilson, Tevin Coleman, Corey Davis, Jameson Crowder, and Cleveland Cole are questionable, so Elijah Moore and Braxton Berrios or Denzel Mims will all get targets. Tyler Kroft, Ryan Griffin, George Elijah Vera Tucker, Connor McGovern, Greg Van Roten, and Morgan Moses. And if anyone didn't know, Mekhi Becton's on IR, so that's bad. John Franklin-Myers, Sheldon Rankins, Quinton Williams, Nathan Shepard also. Bryce Huff, probably Jack Lawson, Belshon Phillips, C.J. Mosley, Jamie Sherwood, who's doubtful, so B.J. Goodson would go in. Brandon Eccles, Sheldon Renwine, Jalvin Guidry, Marcus May, Bryce Hall, and Michael Carter. So those are your rosters. Now I go to the keys to the game. So for the Patriots, of course, they're 0-1. Patriots offense run the ball and design deep shots throughout the game after short passes to going to the tight end. So what I mean by that, like, they didn't really challenge I have to admit, they didn't really challenge the Dolphins as much as they should have. I get it's Mac Jones' first game, but if they're able to do it against their Jets, which should be a lot easier, they'll win the game pretty comfortably, and of course get it out to the tight ends. It might be a Devin Asiasi, but still get to him. He's not a bad player. And then, of course, just run the ball a lot because what they did last week and they almost had a chance to win just fell up short in the end. Patriots defense pressure Zach Wilson does the big play. The short passes won't be a big deal with them. They'll wrap up. They have their defense is best part about them is that they're actually different than they were in 2019. 2019 they were actually it was pretty difficult for them to. Oh, so Marcus Mariota's hurt. That's good to know. Either way, basically their difference is that they're better tackling, which is better because if you can't tackle, it's kind of hard to have a good defense. I'm not saying that they're because it wasn't bad in 2019. That was just one of my concerns. Like, they're going to fall off, which they kind of did. Jets offense, run the ball and then take play-action shots. They're going to have to take shots because if they don't, they're going to lose the game pretty bad. So, yeah. But, of course, run the ball. They weren't really able to run the ball with Tevin Coleman. I'll see how it is this week, but we'll see. Jets, they got to blitz a lot, and they got to also stop the run. I think they'll be able to stop the run pretty well. They got to blitz a lot because if Mac Jones has time, he'll just throw short passes to tight ends. Then he'll probably have to take some deep shots. But what I mean by that, they've got weapons, so they actually have to pressure him this time. Not like last week, they didn't really pressure Sam Darnold. You see what happens. The defense actually didn't play that bad, but still. Next is another game. Probably not going to get a ton of views because, well, who the heck is going to watch the Broncos and the Jaguars? Unless you're a Broncos fan, I don't know who's going to watch this. It's 1 o'clock on CBS. This is probably going to be if you live in Florida or somewhere there. I wouldn't watch this game. I'd rather watch a different game. But either way, Broncos Jags 1 o'clock on CBS. So yeah. So if you get this locally, that's cool. Or if you have the ticket like I do. But either way, Teddy Bridgewater, Melvin Gordon, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler, Deion Spencer, Kendall Hinton. Forget that. Jerry Judy's on IR. They have a couple injured players. Noah Finn, Albert Okwuegbunam, Garrett Bowles, Dalton Reisner, Niante Mooney, Quinn, Muti is going to go out because Grim Glasnow is doubtful. Blake Cushenberry III and Bobby Massey. Defensively, Shelby Harris, Mike Brazil, DeMonte Jones, Telvin, Ajum, Deshaun Williams, Shamar Stevens will go in. Bradley Chubb is questionable, so maybe Jonathan Cooper will go in or Baron Browning. Of course, you have Alex Johnson, Alexander Johnson, whatever the frick he's called. Josie Jewell, Von Miller, Kyle Fuller, Kareem Jackson, Justin Simmons, Pat Surtain, Bryce Callahan, Mike Ford, and Ronald Darby and Ronald Darby's on IR and Duke Dawson's out. And then we go to the Jags. The Jags they look like the worst team in the NFL. Are they the worst team in the NFL? Probably not, but they played like it last week. Trevor Lawrence, James Robinson, Carlos Hyde, DJ Chark Jr., Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault. They also have Jamal Agnew and Teron Johnson and Laquan Treadwell. James O'Shaughnessy, Chris Manhertz, Cam Robinson, Andrew Norwell, Brandon Linder, AJ Khan, Jawan Taylor. Defensively, Malcolm Brown, Devon Hamilton, Roy Robertson Harris, Josh Allen, Damian Wilson, Miles Jack, Kayvon Chason, CJ Anderson, Andrew Wingard, Rashawn Jenkins, Shaquille Griffin, Trey Herndon's on IR, Tyson Campbell, and Chris Claybrooks are going to have to step up. Sorry for my very bad pronunciation today. Either way, so Broncos, Jags. Broncos, of course, coming off a dominant 27-13 win over the Giants. Jags losing by 16 to the Texans in a 37-21 loss. For Trevor Lawrence, 3 interceptions and 3 touchdowns. Probably don't want that to happen again. Broncos offense run the ball out. They're going to have to do that. And then Teddy basically did what he did last week. Teddy just lob it off to the weapons. They'll do their job. I know they don't have Jerry Jeudy, but I don't think that's to make a difference against this very bad defense of the Jaguars. Broncos even stop the run and pressure Trevor Lawrence. If they do that, they're going to win, and they're going to also force turnovers. That's just like an automatic. They're going to force turnovers against the Jaguars. I don't even really need to talk about that. Try and actually get an early lead by running the ball in the first drive. They did run the ball in the first drive. They did it in all, and they lost. That was basically it. Jags defense absolutely prioritize stopping the run. If the Broncos can't run the ball, they won't win the game. I'm joking, but still. Teddy, it's going to be tough for the Broncos to win if they don't have a run game. Simple as that. Next game, you got probably the best game of the early window. Well, one of the best games. Bills, who are 0-1, surprisingly, at the Dolphins, who are 1-0. This thing's on Fox. So yeah, it's a pretty big game. I'm not gonna watch it, but I'll definitely watch film on it, of course. And then you look at the Bills. Pretty simple. They have Josh Allen, Devin Singletary, Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley, Dawson Knox, Deion Dawkins, John Feliciano, Mitch Morse, Cody Ford, Darrell Williams. Gregory Rousseau, Ed Oliver, Star Latule is questionable. Vernon Butler will probably step in. Jerry Hughes, Mario Addison, AJ Epineza, Boogie Basham. That's just funny. Matt Milano, Tremaine Edmonds, AJ Klein. Tyler Matakevich is on there too, of course. They have Tre'Davious White, Teron Johnson, Teron Neal, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, and Levi Wallace. Other than Star Latule, their team looks pretty healthy. I know Gabriel Davis is questionable and Marquez Stevenson is on the IR, but they look pretty healthy for this early season matchup, which is a very good thing. If they stay healthy the whole season, they basically get a tough loss. Now we go to the Dolphins, who actually won. Of course, they're 1-0, but they got a tough game. Tua, Miles Gaskin, Devontae Parker, Jalen Waddle, Albert Wilson probably going to go in again because Preston Williams is questionable. They have Lynn Bowden Jr. and Allen Hurts on the IR. Matt Hollins needs to go in there. I'll just tell you that straight up. They have Jakeem Grant too. Jalen Waddle's going to have to get catches. Mike Gesicki, Durham Smythe, Adam Shaheen, Hunter Long. Those are all their tight ends. Austin Jackson, Solomon Kinley, Michael Dieter, Robert Hunt, Jesse Davis. William Eichenberg might get some snaps. Emmanuel Ogbah, John Jenkins, Christian Wilkins, Zach Sealer, Adam Butler, Raekwon Davis on the IR, Andrew Van Ginkel, Landon Roberts, Jerome Baker, Brennan Scarlett, and they also have Drew Riley up the middle. Can't forget about him. Xavier Howard, Nolan Igbenogany, Justin Coleman, Byron Jones, Eric Rowe, and Jason McCourty, and Javon Holland and Brandon Jones round out that secondary. Basically, yeah, both teams are pretty good with the health. Like I definitely would say that the Dolphins are less healthy, but they're still pretty healthy. So for this game, the Bills, if they start off 0-2, I'm a little worried, but I hope they don't. Run the ball efficiently in the second half. They didn't do it, so they're gonna get a lead if Tua in the offense can't score points. Simply, they're gonna get a lead. They got to light up the defense in the first half. They can't do what they did last week. They couldn't run the ball. They're gonna have to do it this week. Sorry to tell you, but the Bills are gonna actually have to run the ball. Hold and play aggressively on third downs. If they don't play good on third down, they're going to lose this game pretty badly. They didn't do well on third down last week, and that's why they lost. For the Dolphins, they got to play efficient, and they can't turn over the ball. Like, what I mean by that is they can't take any big losses. They got to actually get some big plays going, and they can't turn over the ball. If they do that, they'll be good. Play a deep zone look on any long distance down. If it's first down and 10, run a deep zone, because they cannot get burnt by this team, because if Josh Allen gets hot, they're doomed. Basically, that's it. Now we go to the Niners-Eagles. Both these teams are surprisingly 1-0. I'm joking. The 49ers are 1-0. The Eagles are 1-0. This is on Fox 2 at 1 o'clock. Yeah, it's good. It's an interesting game, to say the least. 1 o'clock on Fox. Starting, of course, is Jimmy Garoppolo, Elijah Mitchell, Jermichael Hasty, and Trey Sermon. He needs to get touches. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, we'll get into it later. Trent Sherfield, Mohamed Sanu, and George Kittle, Ross Dwelly, Kyle Juszczyk, I actually have to mention him. Trent Williams, Laken Tomlinson, Alex Mack, Daniel Brunskill, Mike McGlinchey. But their defense is a little questionable, to say the least. Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw is questionable, but D Ford and Contravious Street might have to go in. J.J. Jones, Samson Ebukam, and then of course you have Nick Bosa. Marcel Harris is questionable, and Dre Greenland's on the IR, so that's pretty bad. So maybe Demetrius Flanagan Fowles will have to go out there. Either way, Fred Warner, as he's Al Shalar, will have to go out there. Emmanuel Mosley is doubtful, so that means Avery Thompson has to step up, and then Josh Norman might actually get some playing time. Jaquiski Tart and Jimmy Ward, pretty similar, but then Demonador Lenoir. I've seen him play. He's very good. And then K'Wan Williams and Drake Kirkpatrick are the other corners. But and if anyone else cares, yes, they have Dante Johnson. But yeah, what is his name? I keep forgetting it. Demonador Lenoir. I can't even say his name. He's a good corner, to say the least. He's a good player. Now we go to the Eagles. The Eagles absolutely put a spanking on the Falcons. It was not. So I'm sorry about that, guys. That was just a little bit of an error, to say the least. But either way, Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor, Quez Watkins, Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, of course, Jordan Mailata, who's going to be their franchise guy at left tackle, Isaac Salamalu, Jason Kelsey, Brandon Brooks, Lane Johnson, Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, Derek Barnett, Ryan Kerrigan, Josh Sweat, who got a huge contract because he's a pass rusher, Alex Singleton, Eric Wilson, Jannard Avery, TJ Edwards, Darius Slade, Rodney McLeod, who is out, Kayvon Wallace will step in, Anthony Harris, Steven Nelson, Devontae Maddox, and Patrick Jones. Other than Josh Ostman, Jack Driscoll, and Tyree Jackson on the IR, I think they're good. And Michael Walker, of course. But Andre Dillard looks like he's going to be a bust because, no offense, but he's much worse than Jordan Mailata, who is actually a good player. So, yeah, we got the 49ers offense run the ball the whole game and then target George Kittle on early to long downs. They got to have long downs. They're going to have to, or 1st and 10, you got to throw the ball to George Kittle. And if this is I didn't write this down, but the most important thing, they have to get it to Brandon Ayuk. I'm sorry, but he is your best offensive player. Yes, and I mean that. He is their most explosive player. He's even more explosive than George Kittle and Raheem Mostert. What I mean by that is, Brandon Ayuk is their guy on the edge. He's better than Deebo Samuel. Yes, I said that. He's more explosive. That's what I meant by that. When you have an explosive player on the edge, you have to use him. And they got to do it this week. And then Jimmy G is going to just have to do that. They're going to run the ball a lot if they want to win this game pretty good. So, yeah. Don't give up long, time-consuming drives. This defense just can't have that. If that happens, they're just going to be done. Because that's kind of what they didn't do last week, and that really helped them. But then they kind of had a meltdown. So, either way. Eagles offense, get the ball out quickly. It's pretty simple. Devontae Smith, he needs to get those targets. Of course, tight end Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz need to get their targets. Only way for them to actually get a ton of really good plays, because if they don't do that, they're going to be doomed. They're going to get a lot of sacks. Not even the last 6 of Jalen Hurts is holding that ball. Stop the run and bring pressure on third down. That's the Eagles' defense, basically. They got to stop the run, because if they don't do that, they're in big trouble. And if they actually get a third down, they got to bring that house. Simple as that. Next, we got the Rams versus the Colts. My Rams, we're heading to Indianapolis for week 2. We got darn Kenny Albert announcing this game. If any of you guys want to know, I'm going to be watching this game. And yes, I do not like Kenny Albert. But either way, yeah, it's 1 o'clock on Fox. The Rams are 1-0. The Colts are 0-1. Of course, coming off a tough loss, but not a terrible loss against the Seahawks. The Rams, they dominated the Bears in almost every facet except the run game. And then, of course, we're going to look over the Rams roster. They have Matthew Stafford, Darrell Henderson Jr., Sony Michel, and Jake Funk. Yeah, basically, those are their running backs. It's kind of sad. Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp in the slot. Van Jefferson, Deshaun Jackson. Tyler Higbee, John Mutt, Bryson Hopkins, Jacob Harris. All those guys will be getting snaps at some point. As much as that sounds stupid, it will happen because it's the Rams. Andrew Whitworth, David Edwards, Brian Allen, Austin Corbett, Rob Havenstein. A'Shawn Robinson, Sebastian Joseph Day, Aaron Donald, Justin Hollins, Kenny Young, Troy Reader, Leonard Floyd, Terrell Lewis, of course, and then Chris Garrett's out. Darius Leonard, Jordan Fuller, Taylor Rapp, Jalen Ramsey, David Long Jr., and Robert Rochelle are their corners, their secondary, basically. They got Obadiah Okoronkwo on IR, Jamil Demi, who's a very good depth player, and Tremaine Ankrum, who's their 7th-round pick from 2020. And, of course, you had Chris Garrett, who was really good in the preseason, who's also on IR. Now we go to the Colts roster, and yeah, I wouldn't say it's as banged up, but it's still pretty banged up, if I have to admit. Carson Wentz, Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, Marlon Mack, who didn't get a carry, Jordan Wilkins also on there. Michael Pittman Jr. is questionable, Zach Pascal, Paris Campbell is questionable, Mike Strachan and Austin Dolan also there. Jack Doyle, Mo Ali Cox, Eric Fisher, and Quentin Nelson are questionable. I don't think they want Julian Davenport and Chris Reed out there. I'll just tell you that. Ryan Kelly, Mark Lewinsky, Matt Pryor, that could be rough on their offensive line. I'm not, they have a great offensive line, but when Braden Smith's out, that's tough. And then Kwity Paye is hurt, but he's questionable. Kamoko Jura and Ben Benogo might have to step up. The 4 is Buckner, Grover Stewart, Chris Williams, Taylor Stallworth, Alquan Mohammed, Taquan Lewis, they're all fine. Darius Leonard, EJ Speed is probably going to have to go in because Bobby Okereke and Zaire Franklin and Matthew Adams can't be out there by themselves. So, yeah, Skay Moore's on IR, too. Rock Yassin, Kenny Moore, TJ Carey. And then they're going to have George Odom, Andrew Sendejo, because good chance Kahir Willis and Julian Backman will be out. And, of course, Zeros is definitely out. So, yeah, so if those guys are out, the Rams could have another blowout. I don't think that's going to happen because, to tell you the truth, if you get 2 blowouts in a row, there's a good chance you're going to have a really good season. Not saying the Rams can't have a blowout. I don't even know if they win, tell you the truth. It's hard. It's really hard to judge early in the season, but we'll see. Either way, for the Rams offense, pretty much run the ball efficiently, and then basically we do what they did last week. The play-action motion scheme, it's always been good off that run. And if they can't run the ball, they're going to have to go to alternatives. Matt Stafford can do it, so yeah. Defensively, just stop the run and force turnovers for short fields. If they stop the run, this defense is going to be better than it was last year. I'm telling you that. If David Montgomery didn't run the ball like he did last week, I would have said the Rams would have won that thing 55-0. I'm not kidding. David Montgomery was the reason that game was even remotely in any sort of interest at halftime. They could run the ball pretty well. If the Rams stop the run, the Colts are doomed. Simple as that. you got to run the ball 30 times. You saw the Rams couldn't stop it as well as they did last year. It wasn't bad. It was definitely above average run defense. They just got to definitely get secure tackles. Run the ball 30 times and then short passes past the playmakers. No deep shots, because if their 3 starting offensive linemen are up, Wentz is going to get sacked 20 times. Colts defense stopped the run, and with everything else will fall into place. Yes, they will give up touchdown passes because their secondary is absolutely decimated. But what I meant is everything will fall into place if they're able to stop the run. The Rams will have to pass it, then maybe they'll struggle. Difference is that they actually have a quarterback that can actually do other stuff without having a run game because he's done it before. That's what Sean McVay likes. But more importantly, yeah, just stop the run and everything else will fall into place. I can guarantee that. It's going to be tough for them to stop the run, but who knows. Derek Carr, Kenyon Drake, because Josh Jacobs is out. Henry, and then what am I doing? We got the Raiders and the Steelers. 1 o'clock on CBS. This should be a really good game. Defensively, if you like defensive football and you're a Raiders fan, I'm sorry, but yeah, that's basically your game. Steelers are both these teams are 1-0. Raiders coming off an absolute thriller against the Ravens. Steelers, on the other hand, they shocked the world by beating the Bills at the Bills, which is crazy. But even more important, these are 2 pretty darn good football teams, so we'll see how they play. But it should be a defensive battle. Of course, I've already said Derek Carr, Kenyon Drake, Mariota's on the IR. Henry Ruggs, Bryan Edwards, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, Foster Moreau, Colton Miller, I got at Allegheny. Jordan Simmons gonna have to go in there. Andre Smith, Jeremiah Eleanor, Alex Leatherwood, Denzel Good, and Denzel Good's on IR, which is pretty bad. Max Williams, Quinton Jefferson, Jonathan Hankins, Yannick Ngakoue, and Carl Nassib are questionable, along with Jared McCoy, Javon White, Nicholas Moreau, Keyshawn Nixon, and Nevin Lawson are all on either the IR or suspended. But then Khalil Farrell actually have to go in for once. Corey Littleton, Denzel Perryman, KJ Wright are all going to start. Trayvon Mullen, Jonathan Abram, Nick Hobbs, Damon Arnett, Trayvon Moehrig, and Casey Hayward all in the secondary. Yeah, Raiders are pretty darn beat up, to tell you the truth. A lot of those are in the preseason, but they're not looking good against the Steelers team that I hope it's not like last year, but man, they look really good. Big Ben, Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, Juju, Chase Claypool, Eric Ebron, can't forget about Pat Fryman or Derek Watt, Dan Moore Jr., Kevin Dotson, Kendrick Green, Trey Turner, and Chuma Okafor. I can't even say his name. This offensive line worries me a lot. It's even worse than it was last year. Zach Bonner's on IR. He's probably their best offensive lineman. They still have Chris Foreman starting because Stephon Tuitt's on IR. They have Tyson Alualu, Isaiah Buggs, who stinks, Cameron Hayward, TJ Watt, Devin Bush, who is questionable, Robert Schmeiman had to step in, Joe Schobert, Alex Highsmith, Melvin Ingram, of course. Joe Aiden's questionable, Justin Lane will step in, and then Akil Witherspoon behind him. Terrell Edmonds, Minka Fitzpatrick, same thing. Cameron Sutton, and James Pierre. Yeah, Steelers looking a little banged up too. Their offensive line is what worries me, because if their offensive line isn't good at average, if their offensive line is average, it doesn't stink, and they actually get some run blocking, they're fine. They'll have a good season. Raiders offense, run the ball up the gut and then throw it to short passes to Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow. I don't want to see him in this thingamajig to around the field just yeeting it up to Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs will get some shots. Because if the Steelers, if they have one weakness, I think it's deep shots with fast players. We haven't seen them be able to. They've never gotten tested there. If the Raiders are the type of team that can do it, if their offensive line is able to hold for on the edge, let Derek Carr step up and just launch one. Henry Ruggs is faster than every player in that Steelers defense. They got to be able to do that if they want to have a chance at scoring points. They're not going to score a ton. And then for the Raiders, blitz the house on third down. And then play zone-on-run plays, makes it less confusing for the defenders, and then force turnovers in Steelers territory. They're able to do all those things, yeah, they're going to win. I can guarantee they will win if they do all those things. It's a lot for the Raiders defense, but if they live up to it, they're going to win the game. Because their offensive line their D-line is better than the Steelers offensive line. But either way, Steelers offense run the ball with Najee Harris even more than they did last week. They gave him a lot of carries, give him even more. Throw it to the trio and Eric Ebron on intermediate short passes. No uncorking deep shots. Do not do it. It's not going to work. Simple. For the Steelers defense, bring pressure and put 2 on Darren Waller and play 2 high safeties on every play so Ruggs doesn't burn you over the top. Basically, if they test you, you're gonna be right there. Like I'm gonna ace this test. Basically, what I'm saying, they gotta ace the test. Simple as that. And if anyone cares, it's 1 o'clock on CBS. But more importantly, they gotta play 2 high safeties most of the game. They can stop the run It's not gonna be an issue. But bringing pressure is gonna be an issue at times. Like they should be able to be good with pressure, but they gotta double Darren Waller and nothing can get over the top. That happens if they fall behind. They're losing this game. I'm just telling you because this offense can't keep up with the Raiders if they get hot. Either way, for next we have the Bengals, who Evan McPherson, I gotta admit, might be the best rookie kicker I've ever seen. I'm joking, but still. It's 1 o'clock on Fox. This might be one of the games that no one watches unless you're a Bears or a Bengals fan. Bengals are 1-0, of course, like as you said, they came on a game-winning kick. Bears got dominated by the Rams. No one really expected it. Keep Andy Dalton in for 2 more weeks. This week, next week, put him in against the Lions. Halftime, I guess. Justin Fields, I don't want to say he's gonna suck if he goes in against the Bengals, but he won't be good. So I'm just saying. Put Andy Dalton out there for a couple more weeks. They'll be good. Either way, Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, C.J. Uzomah, Jonah Williams, Quentin Spain, Trey Hopkins, Xavier Saffola, Riley Reeve, that whole offense. Offensive line is a weakness, so that could be a big deal. Sam Hubbard, DJ Reader, Larry Ogunjobi, Trey Hendrickson, Logan Wilson, Joseph Ossai, of course on IR. Same with Khalil Kareem. Akeem Davis Gaither, Jerome Pratt, Eli Apple, and Jalen Davis will get playing time because Trey Lance is out. Von Bell, Jesse Bates, Chidobe Awuzie, and Mike Hilliard. And Darius Phillips is questionable. For the Bears, like I said, keep Andy Dalton as a starter. I don't want them to start Justin Fields just yet. Andy Dalton, David Montgomery, Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, who's questionable. So Demir Bird and Rashad Perry might actually get some snaps. Or Marcus Goodwin might be out too. Cole Kmet, Jimmy Graham, and Jesse James, those guys have to be the priority. Alex Taylor, of all people, might actually have to start because Jason Peters is questionable. Larry Borum and Devin James, of course, are on our era. Cody Whitehair, Sam Mustipher, James Daniels, and Jermaine Effetti still stay the same. Kim Meggs, Eddie Goldman's doubtful, so that means Chris's Tonga will actually have to go in. But Leo Nichols and Marion Edwards will get, of course, more playing time. Khalil Roquan Smith, Alec Ogletree, Jamaro Wochu might actually have to play because Robert Quinn's questionable. Joan Johnson, Artie Burns, Duke Shelley, Kendall Villador, Tayshaun Gibson Jr., Eddie Jackson round out that secondary. So basically, yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a poop game. I won't call it a tank bowl, but I'm not watching this game because it's going to be boring the first half. Unless the Bengals realize, basically do what they did last week. Play the pass off the run, because if they do that, it's going to be good. And they got to throw the ball down the sideline. My goodness, they got to challenge the Bears secondary. If they're in the forms of the Bears, they didn't do it last week because they couldn't really, because they realized that if they're able to get the ball off fast to the sideline, I think they'll be good. Jamar Chase, gotta say, he's gotta get those targets. Bengals defense, blitz Dalton and prioritize stopping the short pass to Allen Robinson along with the run game. If they blitz Dalton and they stop the run game and the short pass to Allen Robinson, they're winning the game. They'll dominate them. Bears offense, run the ball all game. Basically, yeah, just run the ball. And some short play action along with, if the defense is sleeping, throw it deep with Justin Fields, or just let him run for a big chunk play to Darnell Mooney if he's out there. Justin Fields, gotta say, put him in for a couple plays if they're sleeping. They're just stopping the run the whole time. Yeet! So yeah, basically that's what I said. Bears defense, stop the run and pressure Burrow on every time. If they do that, they're gonna win. Yeah, simple. Texans, this is actually a pretty bad game, to tell you the truth. 1 o'clock on CBS. The 1-0 Texans head into the Browns, who are 0-1. So that just doesn't look right, but hey, it happened. So for the Texans, they have Tyrod Taylor, Mark Ingram, Brandon Cooks, Chris Conley, Daniel Amendola, Farrell Brown is questionable, so Anthony Aguilar actually might have to go play. Larry Tunsil, Titus Howard, Justin Britt, Max Sharping, Charlie Heck, Whitney Merciless, Malik Collins, DeMarcus Walker, Jordan Jenkins, Zach Cunningham, Christian Kirksey, Joe Thomas, Vernon Hargraves, Eric Murray, Justin Reed, Terrence Mitchell, Desmond King II, and Trayman Smith. I just named their whole team, basically. Browns, Mayfield, Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Anthony Schwartz is questionable, so Rashad Higgins actually might have to go out there. You got Austin Hooper, David Njoku, and Harrison Bryant, of course. You have Andy Janovich, who is actually a good fullback. Jedrick Wills is questionable, along with J.C. Treader. So you might have to have James Hudson and Joe Bitonio, of course, and Nick Harris start. Wyatt Teller and Jack Conklin. Yeah. Then defensively, you have Myles Garrett, Malik Jackson, Malik McDowell, Andrew Billings, Takarius McKinley, Davion Clowney, Joe Jackson, Matt Collins, J.O.K., Malcolm Smith, Elijah Lee, because Anthony Walker is on IR, Sione Takitaki, Denzel Ward, Troy Lewis, questionable age agreement, might actually have to go in there, Ronnie Harrison Jr., John Johnson, Grant Delpit, MJ Stewart Jr., Greg Newsome the second, and Greedy Williams. Yeah, those are your rosters, so that's pretty overwhelming. I get that, but here's some good news. Yeah, I don't know if there really is any good news, because, well, this game's gonna be an absolute bloodbath. Because here's why. Yeah, Texans offense run the ball on early downs and then controlling the clock on inbounds and small pass plays in favor of the receiver. Basically, do what they did last week, and then, of course, you gotta take shots. Throw the whole team at Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. They have no chance. They're not gonna stop them. It's not gonna happen. Like, I'm just telling you that. Like, they just give up. Run the ball 70% of the times on first down plays, and then take shots every time they're available. Yeah, they'll be able to do whatever the heck they want. So basically, that's all I'm saying. Browns defense will stop the run and Denzel Ward on Brandon Cooks the whole game. Every single play, man with Denzel Ward on Brandon Cooks. Preferably press, but I don't really care. Saints, Panthers, last for the 1 o'clock games. Chris Myers, I don't know why you're announcing this. This should be Kenny Albert, but either way. Saints who are 1-0, Panthers who are 1-0. Yeah, it's a big showdown. I'm joking, but still. It's 1 o'clock on Fox. I'm not expecting an absolute blowout, but I don't expect the Panthers to win. Simple, that's all I'm saying. Jameis Winston, Alvin Kamara, Marcus Callaway, Deontay Johnson, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Adam Trotman, Teron Armstead, Andres Pete, Austin Reeder will be going in. Yes, Eric McCoy is out. Cesar Ruiz, and Ryan Ramczyk. Defensively, Cameron Jordan, Christian Ringo, Malcolm Roach, Carl Granderson. Of course, you have Peyton Turner. Marcus Davenport's on IR. Zach Barnes, Demario Davis, Caden Ellis. Marshall Lattimore is questionable, so Bradley Roby and Jordan Miller might actually have to go in. Of course, they have Malcolm Jenkins and Marcus Williams, and then, of course, Paulson Adebo and Desmond Trufant. And Brian Poles in the IR. And then for the Panthers, who, they could win this game, I doubt, but they could win this game. It's not going to be a blowout, definitely not, because they have Sam Darnold, Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Terrence Marshall Jr., Dan Arnold, Cameron Irving. Why is he still starting? Pat Elflein, Matt Paradis, John Miller, and Taylor Moton. And then defensively, they have Brian Burns, Eric Brown, Daquan Jones, Morgan Moses, Morgan Fox, Chirgos Matos, Shaq Thompson, Jermaine Carter, Hassan Reddick, Dante Jackson, Stanley Thomas Oliver, Keith Taylor, J.C. Horn, Troy Fred Jr. is on the IR, and of course, AJ Boy is suspended, Justin Burrs, and Jeremy Chin. So yeah, Hassan Reddick is the one guy who was actually pretty disappointing. Like, he wasn't bad. He had some nice plays. I think he might have had a sack. Let me just check. Sorry about that. Either way, let's check. Yeah, he had a sack and a half. What I mean by that is, like, he wasn't getting consistent pressure. Like, one play he's getting stuffed, the next play he's absolutely burning a defender. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, not a bad week. I just didn't think he could have played better. Saints offense, give the ball plenty of times, and then minimize the long down plays. I'll try to keep Jameis under 30 pass attempts again. It could work. It's probably going to be hard for that to happen, but if Alvin Kamara gets enough touches, I think they'll be good. Saints shut down CMC. They can do it. They shut down Aaron Rodgers, who's honestly a better playmaker than CMC. No offense to CMC, it's just true. And then put pressure, and then 2 high safeties the whole game. They don't have the speed that the Panthers have to the point where they're like, we got to play 2 high safeties. Shut down CMC. If they can actually shut him down this time. I'm not thinking, man, they're gonna have a tough time shutting down. They can do it. For the Panthers, though, get an early lead. Who scores? Then control the clock and make the Saints pass. I want to see if the Saints get tested in the pass game. We could find out if they're the real or not. Because if Jameis goes out there and he's down by like 20, if he's down, let's say 14-0, I'm like, I gotta start passing. They start passing, they're down for most of the game. And if the Saints pull through, I can say the Saints are legit. But we'll see. Panthers defense. Don't put everyone on Alvin Kamara. I thought maybe if the Packers did that last week, it might actually work. Try to neutralize him by playing a hard zone, protecting him from getting any big holes. So, if they play a hard, flat zone on the short side where he can't get around the edge and can't get those big holes, they'll contain him to maybe like 5-6 yard runs at most. No big runs. And once again, don't fall for the play action. That was so bad last week. It was getting to the point where they just kept faking it, tossing it, doing all this junk, or running the ball a lot. It was very bad, I gotta admit. Jameis threw 5 touchdowns without throwing for any yards. Don't fall for the play action. Because it killed the Packers last week. Now we go Vikings, who are 0-1 after absolutely losing a game they should have won. Definitely should have won. And then the Cardinals looking like a Super Bowl contender. This thing's at 4:05 on Fox. Now we're on to the later games. But Vikings lost in overtime a game they should have won. Cardinals absolutely blew out the Titans. The game that just basically said, yeah, we're here to play. Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, Tyler Conklin at tight end, of course. Chris Herndon also there. Rashad Hill, Ezra Cleveland. Christian Darrisaw is out for now. Garrett Bradbury, Oizme Odoa, and Mike Davis, of course. Brian O'Neill. Defensively, Danielle Hunter, Michael Pierce, Dalvin Tomlinson. They have Sheldon Richardson and Armin Watts too. DJ Omanum, of course. Everson Griffin is out. Nick Vigil, Chester and Troy Reed, Dye might actually get tested, and then of course Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr are. Anthony Barr's out, and Eric Kendricks is questionable. He probably is gonna be out. Patrick Peterson, Harrison Hand is out. Mackenzie Alexander, Chris Boyd, Cameron Dantzler, Rashad Breeland, Harrison Smith, and Xavier Woods round out the defense. Then we go to the Cardinals. This is gonna be, I've got to admit, to be a tough game for the Vikings. Do you think they can win? Oh, they can definitely win. Here's how: Kyler Murray, Chase Edmonds, DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, Christian Kirk, Max Williams, DJ Humphries, Justin Pugh, Rodney Hudson, Josh Jones, Justin Murray, J.J. Watt, Rashad Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Zach Allen, Chandler Jones, Jordan Hicks, Isaiah Simmons, Marcus Golden, Byron Murphy Jr., Jalen Thompson, Budda Baker, Robert Ford, Luca Barco, and Marco Wilson. Yeah, so yeah, those are the teams. Basically, yeah. And then for Vikings offense, play the ball through Dalvin Cook and then throw the ball to JJ and target Adam Thielen in the red zone and on early hurry-up downs. That's how they scored some points last week. They hurried up and it was on early downs too. Basically, yeah, that's what they do. Vikings defense, limit Kyler's big plays with his legs, of course, and then contain him in the pocket and shut down the run while tripling DeAndre Hopkins. That's a lot, but if they're able to do it, they're going to win the game. It's going to be a blowout for the Vikings. It could be a shocker. Cardinals offense, of course, run the ball with Kyler and then take shots at DeAndre Hopkins. Basically what you did last week, and yeah, good. Slow down the run and pressure your Cousins. Is that even that hard? Like, Cardinals fans, like, Your defense better do that, because if you don't, that's just sad. But Vikings offense, they should put up points against Cardinals defense. It's really not that good. They can get pass rush, but the Vikings offensive line is underrated. I'm not saying it's good, because it's not good, but it's not bad. And yeah, that's basically it for that game. Now we got another massacre. 4 out of 5 on Fox. Should not be a late game window. Falcons, who are 0-1, at the Bucs, who are 1-0, of course. Falcons, you have no chance, because you got blown out. Matt Ryan, Mike Davis, Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, Olamide Zaccheaus, Kyle Pitts, Hayden Hurst, Jake Matthews, Jalen Mayfield, Matt Hennessy, Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry, Jonathan Ballard, Tyler Davidson, Brady Jarrett, Stephen Means, Deion Jones, Foyce Oluokun, Dante Fowler, AJ Terrell, TJ Green, Isaiah Oliver, Fabian Moreau, Richie Grant, Deron Harmon, Eric Harris. Yeah, then we go to the Bucs. The Bucs, if you don't win this game by more than 10 points, there's a concerning factor into this game, and I mean that. Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, Giovanni Bernard, of course. You got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, AB, Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson, Robert Gronkowski, O.J. Howard, and Cameron Brate. Donovan Smith, Ali Marpet, Ryan Jensen, Alex Capo, Tristan Wirfs, Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea, William Golston, Steve McClendon, Raheem Nunez, Roches, Patrick O'Connor, JPP, Devin White, Levante David, Shaquille Barrett, Joe Tryon. I'm not going to even try to pronounce his new whatever the frick it was. Carlton Davis is questionable, so Ross Cockrell actually might have to go in. Antoine Winfield Jr., Jordan Whitehead is back. Jamal Dean, of course, you have you actually have Delaney. Yeah, that's your, I don't really want to preview this game. This game shouldn't even really be previewed, because it's such a bad game. Falcons offense keep pace with the Bucs, and then get the ball outside to Kyle Pitts and Calvin Ridley. All I gotta say for them is they gotta just pass the ball. They didn't really do it well last week, because Matt Ryan got no pride. They tried to run the ball. That's just funny, because it's stupid. Pressure Brady and play the sideline. If they're able to actually play the sideline pretty well, they might have a chance. They gotta pressure Brady. Simple. Bucs offense, run the ball and then take shots. Basically, do what you did against the Lions last year, because it's gonna work. Bucs defense, pressure Matt Ryan and play a heavy zone. The whole game, just play as heavy zone. This game is like, it's not fair, because the Bucs defense, it's like, why are they even playing this game? Like, it's not fair, because if you can't run the ball in the first place, and then you play a team that is elite at stopping the run, there's no even point of like having the game, because they're just gonna play a quarters coverage every play. Next we got a game on CBS, which actually might be a good game. Titans at Seahawks. Titans, it's time to prove yourself. 4:25 on CBS. It's prime time. Well, it's not prime time, but if to me it's prime time. Big game. They got to show up. They're 0-1 after getting blown out by the Cardinals. Seahawks on the other hand had a good win. Russell Wilson threw 4 touchdowns, and now they're 1-0. Either way, Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, Chester Rogers, Anthony Ferguson, who's questionable, Taylor Lewan, Roger Saffold, Ben Jones, Nate Davis, David Quessenberry, and then, of course, Kendall Lamb. Defensively, Jeffrey Simmons, T.R. Tart, Larry Murchison, Harold Landry, Jaylen Brown, who's questionable. So, I don't know who the heck is going to go out there. Rashawn Evans, Buddy Free is questionable. Alea Dye, Adeni might actually go out there. And then, of course, they have Monty Rice. Janoris Jenkins, Chris Jackson, Elijah Molden, Christian Fulton, Kevin Byard, and Bradley McDougald. Yeah, speaking of Elijah Molden, he was burnt toast. So any of you fans who think the Rams should have drafted him, you're dumb. And yes, the Rams did look at him, but they said, screw you. I'm not even kidding. They probably thought that about him. Russell Wilson, Chris Carson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Freddie's fame, don't care about you. Jared Everett, Will Disley, Nick Bellore, who stinks, but still gets snaps somehow. Dwayne Brown, Damian Lewis, who's questionable. Dougal Shepley might Dakota Shepley actually making some snaps. Kyle Fuller, Gabe Jackson, Brandon Shell. Defensively, Rasheem Green, Poona Ford, Al Woods, Carlos Dunlap, Jordan Brooks, Bobby Wagner, Daryl Taylor, DJ Reed is questionable, so John Reed and Bless and Austin actually making some snaps. Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs, Trey Flowers, and Sidney Jones IV, who is going to be a good player on this team. They need corner. They got a corner. So now we go and say, Titans Dolphins, don't even think about throwing the ball this game. I got to say, for this game, run the ball with Derrick Henry. I don't care what they do to try to stop it. This is the game where Derrick Henry is telling the world, I am the best player in the NFL. I am the player who is going to take this team to the Super Bowl. Yes, run the ball with Derrick Henry. That's all I'm saying. Titans defense, play a deep zone and forget trying to make big plays on defense. This team sucks on defense. It's so bad. Just forget about anything. Just don't give up the big play. Basically, try to play to not lose. That's what I'm saying. Because they try to play to win, it doesn't work. I'm sorry. Do this, and then for the Seahawks, do the same thing you did last week. It was beautiful. They ran the ball, then they threw the ball. They ran the ball, then they threw the ball. That is the offense that is gonna take Seattle to where they want to be. That's what they basically take a balance from the 2019, 2018, 2017 run game, and then the 2020 first 5-week pass game. That's what happened. It was beautiful, absolute masterpiece. I have to admit, it was so fun to watch. And that was just straight up great offensive play calling. Seahawks defense, control the big plays and get off the field on third down. If Derrick Henry runs for 5 touchdowns, I won't be surprised. Here's why. This defense, they can't they got to pick one. Like I said, the Titans just have to be simple, run the ball. That's all they got to do, run the darn football. Because they just realized our defense is the worst in the NFL. We got to run the ball because we got to control the clock. That's basically it. Next, we got a matchup. This is the NFL on CBS game. It's nationally televised. It's a game I'm going to probably watch in the late window. We got the Dallas Cowboys, who had a tough loss. Everyone's like, oh, they're really good. I don't know about that. They're 0-1, though. And then the Chargers had a really good win against a team that it's a really funky team. Let me tell you that. But the Chargers, they won 2016. They're 1-0. It's 4:25 on CBS. It's a big game. Here are the Cowboys starters. They have Dak, Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Cedric Wilson, Dalton Schultz, Blake Jarwin, Tyron Smith, Tanaseki is out, who is their big plug-and-play guy. Connor McGovern, Tyler Beadock, Zach Martin is finally in. Terrence Steele is in there because Leo Collins got freaking hurt again. I'm joking. He had some drug thing. Either way, Terrell Basham, Oza, whatever. I can't even say his last name. I'm not gonna attempt it. I know who he is, but either way, he's from UCLA. Carlos Watkins, Brett Urban actually might have to go out there because Randy Gregory's out. Torrance Armstrong. This defense looks so bad. Chauncey Golston. Oh my God, they're basically their best defensive players on IR. If anyone didn't know that, DeMarcus Lawrence, Leighton Vander Esch, Luke Gifford, Keanu O'Neal, Micah Parsons, Jalen Smith, Jabril Cox. Jalen Smith needs to get cut. He's so bad. Micah Parsons. I didn't say that yet. I already didn't force Jabril Cox. Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis, Nashawn Knight, Trayvon Diggs, Donovan Wilson is out, so Jerron Curse will actually go out there. Same with Devontae Casey is questionable. Malik Hooker needs to go out there because he is their best, basically their best. Right now, he's their best defensive player. He's not exactly their most. He's just such a really good player. Malik Hooker, you're a good player. Simple. That's all I'm saying. Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Jalen Guyton, Jared Cooks. Rashawn Slater, Matt Filer, Corey Linsley, Ode Obayasi, Storm Norton, because Brian Bulaga is on IR. Jerry Tillery, Linval Joseph, Justin Jones is out, so Eric Banks or Christian Covington might actually have to go in there. Joey Bosa, Kyle Fackrell, Jonathan Kenneth Murray Jr., Kaiser White, Drew Tranquil, Chris Rum, Uchenna Nwosu, Chris Harris, who is out. Asante Samuel Jr. will go out there, thank gosh. Derwin James, of course, he didn't get hurt, thank God, week 1. Nasir Adderley is questionable, so Mark Webb Jr. might actually go in. Michael Davis, and then Tavon Campbell is also out there. So basically, yeah, that's your matchup. And then, of course, we have the Chiefs. Where are they? That's next. Either way. So, yeah, for the Cowboys offense, run the ball with Zeke and then throw to the trio of receivers and tight ends. Please don't do it, Mike McCarthy. Run the football for once. if this team actually decides to run the football, they'll win games. Yeah, because Mike McCarthy has to learn. Yeah, I can't just do what I want. You gotta run the ball. I'm sorry. Cowboys defense, you suck. Limit the long drives. That's all you gotta do. You're gonna give up a ton of touchdowns, but just limit the long drives, please. Get the offense back out there. Then for the Chargers, yeah, throw the ball to Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, then of course just please throw deep balls, Mike Williams. He'll catch everyone. I'm not even kidding. And then of course score 30 points. If they score over 30, it's gonna be the game. Chargers defense pressure Dak and don't let Zeke run all over you. I know it's not a good chance of not gonna happen, but it could happen. So you still got to do that. Next game, we got the Sunday night football game of the Sunday. I'm joking. That was last year's hype up. It shouldn't be hyped up as much as it was last year because that game was a stinker. As much as people are like, oh, it was such a good game. It wasn't. It was a stinker. Either way, the Chiefs are 1-0. They came off of a typical Chiefs win, come from behind win. Ravens, I don't even know what to say. How bad did you lose the Raiders? I'm joking. But either way, they played a pretty good game. They just blew a couple of really bad plays. And that's why they're 0-1. And they're looking at 0-2 right now, if you ask me. Either way, the Chiefs are, of course, bringing out Patrick Mahomes, Kyle Edwards, Tyreek Hill, Nicole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, Travis Kelce, Orlando Brown Jr., Joe Tooney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Lucas Niang. That right side of the offensive line has to be better. Those are two good players. They just got to play better. I don't know why Andrew Wiley and Duvernay Tardif aren't starting, or Austin Blythe. I get it, but still. Chris Jones, Alex Okafor, Jerron Reed, Derek Nadi, Frank Clark, Mike Dana, probably going to have to get some darn snaps. Nick Bullen, Anthony Hitchen, and Dorian O'Donnell because Willie Gay's on IR. Javarius Ward, Mike Hughes, Rashad Fenton, DeAndre Baker, L'Jarius Sneed, Tyrann Mathieu. Why is Juan Thorne in the back here to Daniel Sorensen? He got burned like 6 times yesterday. Like, it was bad. Like, I know he's not fast as Anthony Schwartz. Like, Anthony Schwartz is probably the most underrated in terms of speed in the NFL. He ran a 4.25 40. That is insane. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is Daniel Sorensen's not a starting caliber safety. And then for the Ravens, Lamar, Tyson Williams, Latavius Murray, and Devontae Freeman, Sammy Watkins, Marquise Brown, and Devin Duvernay are unquestionable. So I don't want James Roche, Taylor Wallace to go because they already have Rashad Bateman and Miles Boykin on IR. Mark Andrews, and then Patrick Hurd. Are you kidding me? Are you telling me Ronnie Stanley is questionable? That's not good. Patrick McCarry, who's never played even a remotely tackle in his life, might actually have to left tackle in his life. He might actually have to play it. Ben Powers, of course you have Ben Cleveland. At least the rest of their offensive line is at least somewhat healthy. Bradley Bozeman. And then, of course, you have Kevin Slater and Alejandro Villanueva. Oh, my God. They have so many injuries. Derek Wolfe is out. So, Broderick Washington will have to go out there. Brandon Williams and Calais Campbell. Tyus Ballard, Malik Harrison, Patrick Queen, Pernell McPhee, Adathio Way, and Justin Houston. Defense, and then, of course, they have Jimmy Smith and Marlon Humphrey are questionable. That's bad. I would not want Anthony Everett, Tavon Young, and Kevon Seymour actually have to go out there. Marcus Peters out for the year with the torn ACL, and same with LJ Fort. Chris Wester is on IR, same with Ian Marshall. They had so much depth. Like, if you like, it's not fair. They're too injured. Chuck Clark and Deshaun Elliott, of course, too. Yeah, like I said, it is a movie. This is gonna be an hour-long video. There's a very well chance it could be. I'm joking, but still. Yeah. I don't even know what to say for the Ravens. It's just sad. Like, Lamar is out there by himself on offense. I'm joking. I'm overreacting, of course. But they're not healthy. Simple. Chiefs offense, protect Mahomes and throw short passes to be patient for deep balls. They will get their deep balls once in a while, so just be patient for them. That's really what I'm saying. Chiefs defense, limit the long runs in a good zone against Lamar's passing plays. The Ravens are going to put up long runs. They aren't. I'm joking. They're going to put up long runs. The run defense of the Chiefs is so bad. Ravens offense, stay on the field at least more than the Chiefs, and don't be afraid to take shots. If they're on there longer than the Chiefs, like they didn't do last year, they'll be fine. Ravens defense, limit any sort of bomb-like plays, because that could kill them. That's basically it. Now we go to the worst game of the week. I'm not kidding. It's Lions-Packers. Both teams are 0-1. The Packers are frauds, and the Lions they looked good in the fourth quarter, but that was about it. So, yeah, this thing's on Monday Night Football. I don't know why they have these stupidly bad Monday night games early in the season and Thursday night games. Like, why are the Texans and Panthers playing on Thursday Night Football? I get it. Every team should be able to get a primetime game, or the fans are going to get pissed, but no one wants to watch this game. So, basically, Jared Goff, DeAndre Swift, Tyrell Williams, and Cleve Raymond are all questionable. Chill. Jamal Williams, Quincy Cephas, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Trini Benson will get touches. TJ Hawkinson, Darren Fells, of course. Penei Sewell, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, Halabato Vaitai, and Matt Nelson, because Tyrell Crosby's on the IR. Michael Brockers, Kevin Strong, and Deshaun Hander on IR. Almond McNeil, John Peninsisi, Nick Williams, Levi Onwuzurike, Trey Flowers, who's questionable, Charles Harris with the seventh for him, or Julian Okoro, or Corey Ballantyne. Wait, what? Corey Ballantyne is not a linebacker. He's a return specialist cornerback. That just doesn't look right. Either way, Jamie Collins, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, of course, Romeo Okoro, that's about it. Romeo Okoro is their best defensive player. Amani Oriaro, I can't even say his name. I like he's not bad. I like AO, but he's not great. Adafi Melufu, yeah, just get out of here. AJ Parker, Jerry Jacobs will be actually playing. Will Harrison, Tracy Walker, I actually don't hate. But basically, I gotta say they have no chance against the team they're playing. Oh, the Saints have no chance. Saints are a better team. Sorry again for the thing shutting down. I hate it. Either way, A-Rod, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, Marcus Valdez-Scantling, Alan Lazard, Robert Tonyan. Just come back, David. Alton Jenkins, Runyon might actually have to start because Lucas Patrick is questionable. Josh Myers, Royce Newman, Billy Turner. Defensively, Dean Lowry, Tyler Lancaster, Kenny Clark, and Kingsley Kiki. Preston Smith, Devondre Campbell, Chris Barnes, Sean Gary. I don't think the Darius Smith. Oh my gosh, that's weird. That's messed up. Either way, Darius Smith is on our. I think it's like people are overreacting to that. It's not that big of a deal. What is a big deal is that Darnell Savage is questionable. He's their best player on the team. I'm joking, but either way. Henry Black might actually start. But then you have Shannon Sullivan, and of course Eric Stokes, Isaac Yadam, Shamar, Gene Charles, of course you have Jair Alexander and Kevin King. Yeah, don't lay an egg on Monday night, because if they do that, that's just sad. Lions offense score at least 20 points and control the clock with DeAndre still throwing to TJ Hawkinson or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Lions defense limited big plays. That's all. They have no chance. Cowboys, Packers offense. I'm just gonna put it out there. Bounce back with a 40 burger. Put up more than 40 points, and I'll be happy. Packers defense dominate the Lions with line scrimmage. They got to do that. This defense needs a pep in their step. They have to, because if they don't, this team's screwed. Either way, like and subscribe. This is the end of the video because it's been a movie. Yeah, either way, I hope you enjoyed.